Welcome back to Well and Worthy Life Podcast. Guys, can you believe we are already midway in January? It's crazy to me. You may know now that I am doing podcasts every other week instead of every week. I'm trying to find that balance in my life as well as help you find the balance in your life. So that's why we have gone to this format. So it gives you time to go check back on any previous episodes because I have, I want to say probably 150 at least episodes. So lots of information for you to go back, and that is still relevant. So be sure and go back and listen to those. Today, I have got my fellow coach with me, Melanie. She's been on with me several times before, and we're just going to have like a little chat about midway in January. What are we doing and what are we looking forward to? So, Melanie, thank you so much for joining me.
You know, I love being here with you. This is an easy conversation because we love talking about it. So,
yes.
I'm happy to be here.
Well, I always love talking
to you. Asking me. I feel honored to be here, should I say.
Well, we always have such great conversations when we are just on the phone with each other, just every day. I feel like every time we talk, we are there to help each other and support each other, not only in our working relationship, because yes, we are we are fellow coaches that we work together, but it's in our friendship. And I think friendships are so important at our age, don't you?
Oh my goodness, they're everything. Every time I'm on the phone with you, I leave better. I've learned something. I've been encouraged. Maybe you're doing something that I was slacking on, like going on my walk. And Deanna's walking and talking. And I'm like, you know what? I need to move today because Deanna is my encourager.
Oh, you're so sweet. I feel the same way about you. And, too bad we can't figure out how to do these podcasts while we could walk. I mean, unfortunately, we have to sit. But I think it would be very distracting if we were walking and talking. But who knows? Maybe one day we'll figure it out and we can actually do walk and talks. Although here it's pretty cool today. Is it cool there?
It has the sun shining, but
it is here too. Thank goodness.
It's beautiful today.
I know. I know.
As long as the sun's shining.
I agree. Okay. Do you make New Year's resolutions? I haven't ever asked you that.
I don't. I don't call them resolutions, but I do goal setting.
Yes.
Is there a difference there?
I don't know. I kind of feel like it's different. I feel like New Year's resolutions are different than goals. I
think New Year's, what I do is just try to be better. How can I be better this year as opposed to last year? What can I let go of that didn't serve me in 2022? And then I think back to, I'll tell you this. We'll start off with dry January. If you want to call that a goal. Deanna encouraged me a couple of years ago. Actually, was it 3 years ago when we met? I don't
even know anymore.
I just don't know. But
when we had to have been, it was at least 2.5 years ago. It was in October. And so in October, it will be 3 years. I think that's right.
So let's go back to the alcohol. When I met Deanna, it was on a girls' trip. And everybody was drinking on that trip, including me, except for Deanna. Excuse me. Deanna was not drinking. And I just watched her. I mean, she was the life of the party. We went to a bar after dinner just for a nightcap. And there was a little piano player there. And Deanna was dancing. She was having fun. She was laughing. She didn't need alcohol to have fun. And quite honestly, I don't need alcohol to have fun. But so at that point, after I met her, I was watching. I was like, you know what? I'm going to let go of the alcohol and during that year. And so I did 75 hard, which is a mental challenge. And
it is a very mental challenge, which I'm like, wow.
One of the things was not consuming alcohol for 75 days, but that was my way of kind of easing into that. So after that,
easing into that. I mean, if anybody looks at 75 hard, just know I tried it for about, I don't know, 15 days. I was like, forget this.
Well, but anyway, the takeaway from what I'm trying to
Right.
say, not the 75 hard, I don't want the emphasis on that, but was that after 75 days of going without alcohol, I felt so good. I just felt so good.
Mhm.
And so then after I think you and I have talked about this, Deanna, tell me your experience. You go back a little bit,
Mhm.
then after that, I was like, okay, I was at a wedding or something and I went back to my wine and guess what happened? Didn't sleep well,
Mhm.
didn't feel my best the next day, had food cravings the next day,
Mhm.
didn't feel like exercising, right?
Right.
Didn't even drink a lot. It was maybe 2 glasses of wine. Does it affect you that way?
Oh, yes. And so it's funny because I could not figure out why it was affecting me so much more. And other clients that I talked to, it was affecting them like that too. And I did a little bit of research and I actually did a podcast on this with my friend Jen, Sober Sis. She and I've had several podcasts on this, but the thing is, we have an enzyme that breaks down the alcohol. As women, we have less of that enzyme than men. And then as we get older, we lose more and more of it. So we don't have that enzyme that usually breaks down the alcohol as much. And that's why it affects us so much more than it did when we were in our 20s and 30s. When you're in 20s and 30s, you could get away with it a lot more. You don't need that disruption of sleep with alcohol because we have enough problems at this age with sleep. So we don't need that, right?
So anyway, that's one of my goals. I did drink some champagne New Year's Eve and the same feelings. And I thought, why are you doing this?
Mm-hmm.
The 20 minutes of a little bit of a high is not worth the whole day, the next day of not being my best. So I'm going to try to, less and less of that.
So are you saying just for January?
I'm saying 2023 is maybe just completely
A dry
realize it
year.
doesn't serve me.
Yeah. I kind of feel the same way. I've kind of dabbled back in it. And again, Jen and I did a podcast on can you moderate? And I do believe some people can moderate. And I feel like I have done a pretty good job of moderation. I feel like you've done a pretty good job of moderation. But I had probably in December, maybe 5 or 6 occasions, which is a lot for me considering the last 3 years
Right.
that I had a few drinks. And it just honestly, it did affect my sleep, but it didn't do anything for me. There was nothing about it that
That's it.
served
It's
me.
like it's just
And
nothing.
so, yeah. So I was like, what's the point? I think more than anything, it's not like I really like the taste of it. For some reason, I still think sometimes I'm like, oh, if I have a drink, oh, then I'm going to have fun. Then I'm part of the crowd. You're the best at doing the mocktails. You really are the best at doing mocktails. I don't do a lot of mocktails, but I need to do more because I think that's where I felt like I was missing out.
So true.
Yeah.
That really is. Now let's go back to that because let's say my children, I have adult children. We're not big drinkers at my house. Okay. We're
Right.
not. But if it's the weekend and we're
And a
making
holiday, I mean,
a holiday, sure, they may be having drinks. And so having your go-to really is a big deal.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you've got to keep it stocked. Like you need to have it like in my pantry. I have all my ritual, zero proof. You got to find something you love, right, Deanna?
Yeah.
Because you don't like that ritual as much as I do.
I do like ritual. I like that a lot. I don't like the whiskey, but I like the gin and the tequila a lot. So I need to, and that's what I need to do. I need to stock my pantry. And then I've seen some great recipes from Ritual that I'm like, ooh, that looks really good. So,
and I even made John one. This dry January, I was making my little mocktail at 5, and I'd made John one, and I said, "You just got to taste this." And he's like, "Melanie, it really is so good. Like I don't feel like I'm missing out. Like I like this."
Yeah. Yeah. So I love that. And I think that if you do want to examine, for anybody that's listening, if you do want to examine, try to go a month or 21 days. It is better because we know community works so much better than when we try to do it by ourselves. And Jen, aka Sober Sis, has a great 21-day challenge. We've both done it.
Love it. Love it.
We love it. Love it. She starts the first. So no matter when you're listening to this, she starts the first of every month. And so you go ahead and register. So if you're listening to this when this drops and you're like, okay, I want to do this, just click on the link in the show notes. You click on that link, you'll join. She'll have a couple of Zoom calls or at least one Zoom call before you start on that first of the month. So you would start February 1st. And you will get so much support. I tell you, one of the best values, one of the best programs out there. I would definitely recommend that. Wouldn't you, Melanie?
I love it. And I want to throw this in there for one thing. I did her program, and I love following her on Instagram just for inspiration, because you're going to learn, but also the biblical perspective that she ties it into. You know, she'll have scriptures that she motivates you with. And I love that. Love it.
Yeah. Just like we were talking about, you know, we are doing balanced wellness method right now, which we do this 3 times a year. So if you missed out on this one, don't worry. We'll start it again after, I think it will start again in April. I think in April it starts again. So you can actually click on the link in the show notes here to get on the wait list. So you'll be one of the first ones to know when it's available again. But we were talking on our Zoom call about community and how important community is from like-minded women. And it's exactly why we created Balanced Wellness Method, Balanced Eating Method, and the next is Balanced Movement Method, because there really are not any programs out there for women our age. You know, yes, you can join the younger women, 20s and 30s, but we know it's different. Once you hit your 40s, it is so different. You know, I posted on Instagram. I don't know if you saw my post on Instagram, the reel, and I said, it was just a silly one, you know, those silly ones where you're like, listen up, and perimenopause can start as early in your 40s. And man, when I read all the comments, I was like, yes.
Deanna, going back to our Zoom call, had so much fun being with that group of women and listening, just being engaged and just the conversations. But I wish I would have known what I know now. If I would have only known in my 40s, because let me tell you, I went to my doctor. I said, I don't feel good. I don't have energy. My sex drive is low. I'm irritable, all these things. And it was you'll get through it. And then off to what, deliver a baby or do a hysterectomy. And there's nothing wrong with that. But, you know, there's not enough communication and not enough support from our doctors to help us in this area.
It's so unfortunate. So many doctors say, oh, well, that's just the way things are. You're older now.
Yes.
Or, you know, I mean, it's just, we're dismissed almost like, hello, like, oh, well, you've served your purpose here. You're not having babies anymore.
You're going to feel bad and you're never going to want to have sex and forget the energy. I mean, you're done. You know, and so having gone through the balanced wellness and then learned, okay, these are the things that you need to ask your doctor. This is maybe the type of, maybe you need to go to a functional medicine doctor. Right?
Yes. Right. Yeah.
And look, that was 13 years ago. And I can tell you, I feel better now in my 50s, probably as good as I felt in my 20s, if not better.
I'm the same way.
Not
mentally, physically, and everything.
Everything.
Yeah. I mean, definitely. I think I feel better than I've ever felt in my life. But it has been a process to get here.
Right.
It's been a process, right?
Right.
And we've had to learn, and by trial and error and trying different things and what works and what doesn't work. And that's why we're so passionate about sharing, because like you said, if I had only known, it's almost like we're big sisters. Like we're on the other side. It's not like we're completely through it though, you know?
No, but, and we do. I mean, what a joy to share with somebody. And, you know, all the success stories when we read after a program ends that they have their life back, or they're off high blood pressure medication, or they lost 15 pounds, or their mindset is good. Like they feel good. They want to go exercise. They're sleeping
vibrant, you know,
they look, they look vibrant. You know, when you say, I heard you yesterday on the call say, take a picture before, like this week while the program starts, and then you're going to take a picture at the end. Unbelievable.
Yeah. I mean, it really is unbelievable. The other comment that was made on the call that I found very interesting too was a woman, and she was like, you know, I'm 65 and I really thought it was really just too late for me. And it's not too late for anybody, right? That's one of those limiting beliefs that we think, oh, we're too old for this, or, oh, well, I missed the boat on that.
So then you go and you put yourself in that box and you carry out the rest of your life feeling that way?
Yeah. No, not doing that. No.
Don't do that, people.
No, exactly. But that's why I'm so excited about our next program coming up that we start in February. And I don't have the exact date, but we're starting it in February once we finish with Balanced Wellness Movement. Some of the women will move straight over into Balanced Eating Method. And then we'll have some new ones join us. And Balanced Eating Method, again, we've been running that program for a year. We had over, can you remember, like, was it around 300? 275, somewhere around in there, women go through Balanced Eating Method last year. And so many great results. And it was just amazing. And we've improved it even more, if that's possible. But we've listened to what people were wanting more of, and we've added more recipes and just more information, because in Balanced Wellness Method, we definitely talk about nourishment. We talk about eating, but we can't get into all of it. And that's one of the things that's why Melanie, she was the perfect person to help create the Balanced Eating Method.
So sweet. It's been such a blessing to me. I can't thank you enough. Like, honestly.
It's been a blessing to both of us. I mean, because it truly has been this blessing to me as well. And to so many women. It is different than any program out there, because guess what? We don't talk about calories, macros, any of that kind of stuff. We teach you just how to eat sustainably. There are no tricks to this.
Sustainable equals success.
That's exactly There's your motto. Right. You know, and so many people get caught up. When I tried to track macros, it did not work for me. Calories sure didn't work for me. Macros didn't either. Not to say there is not a time and a place for tracking macros. There may be, just to kind of get a baseline to see where you are, but long term, that's not going to help you, in my opinion. I have to always preface that, because some people are very dedicated to tracking their macros. And if you are, this probably may not be the program for you. But I think the great thing is that we teach you, Melanie really teaches you how I know we do it together, but that first week.
Deanna, wait, let me say this. I want everybody to know this. We are simply giving you a simple way to live that's sustainable, and it's what we do. It's a lifestyle. It's not a diet. And when Deanna says, Melanie, no, because all of us, all the coaches in the Balance Wellness program, we do this. And it's not a diet. There's so much freedom. It's nourishment. Okay.
It is.
It's
It
nourishment.
is.
We're just going to teach you ways to nourish your bodies. And you know what I love? I think about this all the time. Are you, when you go to fix your plate, when you're hungry, are you nourishing your body? Are you eating just to be eating? Not knowing what's in those foods and what those foods are doing to your body and what vitamins and how they can help you prevent diseases. That to me is just the center of balanced eating method. We're just showing you what these foods do for your body. Protein. We need so many grams of protein a day. We're going to go over that. Fiber. Why is fiber important? How much do we need?
With today's diet, the standard American diet, you are not getting enough fiber. Most women are not getting enough fiber.
No.
You have to really focus on eating whole foods, real foods.
And look, Deanna, if you are fixing your plate and you are wasting calories, this is what I call wasted calories on processed, non-nourishing foods, you're not going to be satisfied. You're going to have cravings all day long. You're going to peak and valley. You can't eat a meal that will sustain you for 3 to 4 hours, right? Because you're not filling your body with the right foods.
Right. You don't have all the energy to do all the things, right?
And then what goes from there? Do you have energy to exercise? Are you sleeping well? Are you eating the right foods that are balancing your hormones? How does your skin, hair, nail, how does that look? All these things are just like spinoffs from eating real food.
You know, I bet you get this question a lot too. I get this question all the time about what skincare do you use? What skincare do you use? I tell them, but I don't think it's the skincare for me. I think it's what I consume. It starts from the inside out.
Right.
And so I think that's where we have to start, that inside out, hydrating, making sure we're getting enough water. But let's talk about what we teach them in balanced eating method. That first week, we teach them how to clean out their pantry, their refrigerator, and then stock it back up, because you got to plan ahead.
Yeah. We're going to take you inside our kitchens. We're going to go into the pantry and we're going to look at ingredients, because many of us don't know what we're eating. So we're going to flip over, look at the labels. We're going to go over inflammatory oils. We're going to go over things you need to make better choices, like put that one aside, but maybe eat this. Remember, we did that at your pantry at the beach.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Then we're going to go into your refrigerator and clean out your produce drawer. We're going to then restock with foods that we eat that are non-inflammatory.
So you have all these PDFs, all these downloadable PDFs that we've spent a long time on to help you make sure, because again, you can clean everything out, but then you've got to stock it back up so that you can plan ahead and make life easy. I think that's the biggest thing, that people don't plan ahead. I know for me, Melanie, if I don't have my pantry, my refrigerator stocked, which it's not stocked as well right now as it should be. That's why I can't wait for balanced eating method too. But I can eat so much better and nourish my body without even thinking about it, because it's there in my refrigerator, in my pantry. I can throw something together so quick, because then that second week, we teach them about our plug and play formula, and how easy is that?
Then we're going to show you what a plate looks like and how your plate should always look. Always. Now, look, Deanna and I, we're not perfect. We eat cake.
Of course.
Of course. Of course.
That's why I want freedom, right?
We splurge, guys, but there's balance. There's balance and awareness. And awareness is everything, because guess
And
what?
mindfulness that that when we decide to splurge on that cake, we're not just shoveling it in. I saw a video of this little girl. This is the funniest thing. Oh my gosh. It was actually one of my friend's granddaughters, and she was eating French fries, and she couldn't get those fries in quick enough in her mouth quick enough. And that's mindless eating, right? When you're just like so fast. That sounds awful in the podcast.
And it goes back to what I said earlier. If you're having those cravings and you're wanting cake at every meal and you're shoveling fries in your mouth, you're not eating the right foods. Because let's see, what time is it right now? I had a protein smoothie filled with so many nutrient-rich foods at 9:30. It is 12:30 right now.
Awesome.
Ask me if I'm hungry.
Are you hungry?
No.
Oh, good. Yeah.
But look, we eat food. We eat real food. We're not telling you to skip food and not eat meals. And we're just saying, look, if you do cake, how do you feel? How do you feel
Well,
afterwards?
and yeah, and savor that cake. Really, that's where it comes, instead of like eat it so fast. I've been there, done that, where I want another piece. But if you really savor that, we were talking about this, I think yesterday on our Zoom call too, that first bite of dessert or that first bite of anything that you just love so much, right? That first bite is the best bite. Second bite, that's pretty good too. And the third bite, but there is this law of diminishing returns. It doesn't taste, that fourth and fifth and sixth bite doesn't taste as well as that first bite. But, and that's why I think we live in such a time where we are so busy, we are going so hard, we don't have time to sit down and enjoy our food. Our food was meant to be enjoyed.
Right. And to chew slowly. And there's a reason for that. Let the food get to your stomach to start digesting, to fill you. And then you may not want to clean your plate like we were taught as children. Why did our parents teach us that?
Well, and honestly, I did it to my children. And then I was sitting there with my son and daughter-in-law watching them make my granddaughter eat everything on her plate. You have to have this before you can have this. And I was like, and she was like, I'm not hungry. I'm not hungry. Like, so I don't know. That's so tough. It's so tough.
But you know what, too, going back to time, we don't take the time because we live in this fast-paced world. But during the Balanced Wellness Method, we're going to help you learn to make time and to make it simple. Because honestly, we really do have the time, Deanna.
We do. Oh, yes. Yeah.
This is what you need to think. Where are you wasting time? What can you cut out of your day? Is it social media? Is it watching Netflix? What is wasting your time? That's what I would ask anybody starting any of our programs that say, I don't have time for that. You do have time. You do have time. I promise you do. And with the app that we have,
makes it so simple, right? Everywhere you go.
I was on the Zoom call yesterday, had to take my son to the doctor because he couldn't drive. And I knew I had that Zoom call. Well, guess what? I logged on driving down the highway and heard every word and engaged. And so you can.
Yeah. Well, and I will say that's the beauty of it. You've got the recipes right there in your hand on your app. You can communicate. There's no social media. So, sometimes with these Facebook groups, we get on there and it diverts us and takes us way off track of where we really
off social media.
Yeah. I'm
Just
like
that.
Yeah.
You find yourself in a rabbit hole. And you've gone down so many.
The truth. I mean, and so that's what, another program I used to coach, we had a Facebook group, and I'd catch myself going down rabbit holes on that Facebook. I mean, there's a time and place for all social media. I'm not going to say it's all bad stuff,
Right.
but because that's really how we connected, Melanie. I mean, really, it's so funny. But there is this, that's the beauty of this app. You get on the app, you can converse with us, you can converse with all the group, everybody that's in the group. We have a community of other women that are, maybe they're in the membership program, or maybe they've done another program and they are in the app. So, and they're all women going through the same hormonal changes that you are.
And I'll tell you this too, talking about the app. So I love the cooking, the Zoom calls where we cook together. And most of our recipes are 5 ingredients or less. Wow, how freeing is that?
Exactly.
And so we do these Zoom calls together, and they're usually at noon. But if you can't make it, no worries. It's in the app either that evening or the next day for you to watch on time. So just make it super easy. But another thing that I love about, just one of the things about aging, and that I've learned, and I wish I would have known in my 40s and in my 30s, probably more so than my 40s, because I think during your 40s and when you really start learning to say no more.
Oh, yes.
And just, if you can make time to better yourself, you just have to learn to say no to the things that are not the best for you, right?
Yeah. And it's hard for a people pleaser to say no. And I'm a recovered people pleaser. So but I have learned, and I get better at saying no. And it's just like I said, from the very beginning, I love doing these podcasts so much. It was so hard for me to decide to do it every other week, just do two a month. I was like, oh no. But I'm like, that is the best thing for me and for my life, so that I have time to do all the other things that I want to do. And so that I can create more of a balanced life for me. I was talking to somebody else, and we really, all three of us, me, you, and Lori, we all three practice exactly what we preach.
We met at the beach at Deanna's for meeting. Like, we were in sync of waking up, our morning routine, what we eat, our movement. We prioritized our sleep. And it wasn't something that, it's our lifestyle. Yeah. And we all learned it through the Balanced Wellness Method.
Yeah. But, and that is the thing. And like, and this is just the truth out there, because I see it all the time with other health coaches. They say all the right things to do. They really do. They're well-meaning, right? But they are burnt out because they are working themselves silly. They have either too many clients or too many groups going on or something. They are not truly, if you saw, and we know on Instagram, it's just a small snapshot, but are they living the life that you want to live? And so I would really, I can attest that Melanie really lives this way. Lori really lives this way. And if you came and spent a day with me, you would know this is the way I really live. This is no show. This is no, see how many clients we can get, because that's not it.
We do this because we love sharing, and we love our lifestyle. Honestly, we love our lifestyle, and it's something we both have worked on, and something we both like to educate ourselves on. We're constantly learning. We want to learn. We want to read. We want to know more. And why keep all that knowledge in yourself if you can't share it with somebody else that that could gain from it?
Oh, I totally agree. And I think that's why our passion for sharing it with so many women, and why it does make it. So anyway, I don't know. Like I said, we could talk forever and ever, Melanie, but I'm so glad that you have joined me as a coach, and I can't wait for Balanced Eating Method to start. I'm so loving our group with Balanced Wellness Method. And I mean, it's just great. Life is good. We've started 2023 off very good. So,
Yes. And it's going to be great. I'm excited to see where we go and all the new people we're going to meet.
I am
It's
too.
fun meeting people from all over the world.
Oh, it sure is. It sure is. Okay, well, we're going to wrap up here, but if you're interested in joining us in Balanced Eating Method, you can click on the link in the show notes. Also, you'll just get on a wait list, and that wait list will let you know when we open up Balanced Eating Method. If you thought, well, I want Balanced Wellness Method or Balanced Movement Method, there'll be wait lists in there also, or you can buy all 3 programs in our Balance Bundle. So you can click on that link and check that out. You get a little bit of a discount when you buy all 3 programs. So it's a great value, and you get me, Lori, and Melanie for 12 weeks. So if you buy that Balance Bundle. Otherwise, each individual program is 4 weeks long. Okay. And we have Zoom calls and everything with it.
So much excitement. Thank you, Deanna, for having me today. I really enjoyed it. I love
Thank
you.
you, Melanie. I love seeing you, and I will see you at the beach soon.
Can't wait.
I know, me too.
Follow us, friends, and watch our whole journey.
That's right. See you guys later. Thanks for joining us.